Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Look how pretty this tractor is. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous. Anyway, we're working on planter today. We've got some openers to do. We're going to keep working on this fertilizer system. I'm probably going to work mostly on that. Brock's coming back on Friday, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be around on Friday, so I'm going to save the rest of the openers and wash the meters and stuff like that he can do while I'm not here without much guidance for Friday when he's here. So, but we do have a few other things going on today. One, my sales rep with Golden Harvest is coming to sort plot seed down in my seed warehouse. I let them ship in all the plot seed for the territory to me, and then they divvy it up and take it to the rest of the dealers. So I'll probably go down there and help him with that a little bit. I've got somebody coming to look at the 8300 here in a half hour, 45 minutes or so. So we've got that going on, and I've been working in the office a little bit. I got a little bit of paperwork and some things that need to get figured out here that yeah. You remember that full air feed company that I worked with last year on some of those foo-foo juice products? Well, I'm still working with them a little bit, trying to put together an order, trying some different stuff, trying some stuff in my starter and just different things, but I need to get an order into them, so I've been working on that this morning because prices go up April 1st, so we got to do it and get it shipped before that. Okay, well, the guys came and looked at the tractor. Didn't buy it yet, but they might. And my sales rep, Tony, is here. He's going to sort through all those plot seeds. At least 4 pallets that are green wrapped. This is all plot seed bag. Yeah. They're full units of beans. They do 1 plot, and then they're third units of corn, little partial bags. And he's got to sort them all out for who they go to. Okay, so I'm back to working on the planter. Trying to figure out how that Surefire pump mounts up here. I don't really want to mount it entirely yet because I do want to take this cylinder off and replace the seals in it since it's leaking a little bit down here. I ordered the seal kits for it this morning. They will be here tomorrow, so we're going to have to wait a little bit to do that. So I'm just trying to see what I can do before I can't do any more. And getting this bracket installed, it mounts up here and to those down in there, and that's not really going to be in the way of getting that cylinder off, so we can go ahead and mount that one. It was a little bit difficult to get in there. I had to pound on a little bit. The CCS tank was real close and it was rubbing up on the top, and yeah, I got it, but that was not an easy thing to do. So anyway, there's my bolts. We're going to get it loosely bolted up there. Okay, you remember when I said that bracket was hard to get in there? Yeah, it turns out I still didn't have it in right because I had it on the front side of these, and my gap up here was way too big. It turns out it's supposed to go in front of this one, behind this one. You know how you do that? You got to lift the whole CCS tank up. And so there's a couple of U-bolts here that are holding this tight and sitting down on the main frame that I loosened up, and then I was able to use our hoist and just pick the whole dang thing up, because the problem was I was hitting up here with this and I couldn't get it lined up right. But once I lifted that up and got it out of the way, oh, it slid right in there. Now we can get it bolted in the way that it's supposed to be. So once you get those 4 bottom bolts in, then you can see we've got a little bit of a gap in there on that top one. And so they give you this bolt that goes in there. Hang on a second. And it comes with these shims that you're supposed to, it says measure how many fit in there. Well, I would say we could get 3 if I wanted to. 2 fit nicely. We'll probably put 3 in there. And I just want to point out this little feature. See those little handy tabs on there for holding them and lining that up? Nice feature there, Surefire. Well done. So you can hold them, because otherwise, yeah, if they were just washers, you wouldn't be able to get them in there. So that's well done. See that? Yeah. This one's our extra one. So now we can tighten those bottom 4 bolts up, then we can tighten the top one up with the shim, and that bracket is in place. We'll lower our CCS tank back down and tighten those U-bolts back up. Okay. Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be initially when I realized I had to lift that entire tank up. I thought maybe I could take those 3 bolts out, but the top one is a carriage bolt that doesn't come out unless the whole plastic tank is removed from the frame, so that wasn't gonna work. So we do it this way instead. Can I get on that one? Good enough. All right, that's all in tight. Everything's good there. So now there are some side pieces that mount on here to kind of form a platform for that. I don't think I want to put those on until we take the cylinder off. So that's going to be as far as we go from there. But we can work on plumbing from our meters, or flow meters, out to the row units. So let's do that. Okay, so we need to connect this piece to these pieces. And so the way we do that is with a piece of hose. Obviously we've got the hose barbs coming out the top to the back on the top there. And so I'm installing some hose barbs on the back of these, I don't know what they are. Check valves, shut off valves, maybe both, whatever. But yeah, they gave me a package of hose barbs that are right here. So we take a couple of these. There's 3/8 hose barb. I think that's 1/2-inch threads. They gave me a tube of some thread sealant, so I'm putting a little bit of this on the threads. Like so. And then we're threading it in. Oh no, that one's gonna hit the bolt. Gonna have to do that one different. Probably the one next to it too. I should have done these before I mounted all of those. I probably knew that and decided that it would be fine and it would just be more difficult to get them in, and I was right. But most of them have gone. Anyway, so we thread those in and get a wrench, turn them in until they're tight. Okay, well, I got all of those hose barbs in there. I had to loosen these bolts up and tip it out so I could get those couple in, but that is good. So the next thing we need to do is run a piece of hose from here up to here on each row and connect those. They give me, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls of this 3/8 hose, so I don't know, but we'll use that. We got some hose clamps. Yeah. That is, however, an after lunch project because it's lunchtime and I got seed guys down there that are going to buy me lunch today. So we're going to go see how they're doing and figure out what the plan is. You hear it? The grain is still moving every day. Every day, that's all Phil does. Drive truck, hauling corn. It's a good thing. Well, I'm back from lunch, working on these flow meters and connecting stuff a little bit. So you can see what we're doing here. We're taking some short pieces of hose coming out of the top, getting a hose clamp on there, running it down to a set of these valves and the barbs that I put on earlier there. So this is where some of the artistry, I guess, comes in for a plumber, making sure that everything looks nice and neat and your hoses are the right length and trying to keep the clamps all aligned the same so that it looks nice and everything's good. Yeah, we're good. I'm half done with this side. I do have to say I am pretty impressed with this Surefire kit. Everything goes together really well. Their directions are, while a little scattered in multiple different places, what you need is there. And I mean, they give you everything that you need. Like, look, they gave me this fancy little tubing cutter for cutting this hose, and it works really good. So I'm putting the bottom on here, and we'll get that measured, figure out where we need to cut it, try and get it laying right, and then hold it, and then grab my cutter. Nice, clean, smooth cut. Works good. Okay, well, there's this side. I think I'm going to go do the other side. So, the other thing that I can do, I think, is run the hoses from here out to the rows. The one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about doing that, and the reason I haven't quite done it yet, is because I want to fold it up and just make sure none of this stuff is going to hit on this tank when we do it. Because if I have to move that it changes all that plumbing and the lengths of the tubes and hoses that I've got to go to each row unit. So I'm gonna hold off on doing those and plumbing to the pump, or where the pump is gonna be, for right now, until I can get it folded up and just make sure that everything is good. And there's the other side done. All the hose barbs on and hoses attached. So hopefully we don't have any leaks, but that looks good. Okay, next. What's next? All right, I am switching gears here just a little bit. I'm going to work on mounting some stuff up in here in the cab. I've talked about this already, but we've got this fold box that we need to mount there. I have got this angle bracket we're going to put right there on that side, and then get that mounted on there. Okay, so there is that. Now we've got to get this wire shoved through here, and there's a little chase there for them here, but we got to cut a slot in the back of it and push that through there. All right, well, that's not too bad. I like that. So, other things that I need to mount in here. Radio, which I don't necessarily need for spring planting, but I was going to put a radio in here. Actually, I wonder if that would go in here. I think that it's got a wiring for a radio already in here, you know, our two-way radios. And there's a connection on the roof for the antenna. But I need to dig into that a little bit farther. I believe that's right. I read something about this in the book, you know, when I read the book, because I read the book. Anyway, the other thing is I've got, down there on that box, I've got a screen for my cameras on the grain cart. Now, we could plug them in and run them through the screen in the tractor armrest here, which is a viable option. But I kind of like having them on a separate screen where I don't have to flip back and forth pages to be able to see those. And I do have cameras on the back of this planter and on the back of the tank that I pull, mostly for going down the road, although this tractor sits up so high, it may not be as necessary anymore, but I will have them, so I will plug them in. So I'm thinking about mounting that screen in here as well yet. I got to figure out where I want that. And I also am going to have an iPad in here for one of a couple of different things, or maybe, I don't know, there's a potential scenario where I could end up with two iPads in here. I don't really want to do that, but we'll see. So we're going to use this mounting rail that's built in up here for that. I need to see what kind of connectors or mounts that I need to get on there, RAM mounts or something, but yeah, I'm going to work on that for a little bit. We'll see what we can figure out. Well, I found some of the brackets and stuff that we had from other previous stuff, and trying to figure out if I can utilize any of these in mounting any of this stuff. And, well, some of it may be useful, but I needed a few other pieces, some T-bar ball socket. These with the proper stuff to attach to that mounting rail, more or less. So this works for my old smaller iPad that I can use, and I don't know which iPad I'm going to put in this tractor. Like I said, maybe both of them. So we'll figure out where exactly we can mount that one. I've got a mount coming for the bigger iPad that I bought a month or two ago, and then we can take some of this stuff apart and use it as well. I do want to put this in there. I got a little ball to put on this and hang it from that rail. Use one of these arms. Yeah, so we'll have to wait on some of that stuff to come, but that'll help us get it all mounted. And I want it to be nice and neat and organized and not a mess of wires and stuff right across the middle of my window. That rail up on the top is nice because stuff will be up high and hopefully not quite right in my line of sight, or I'll be able to move it out of the way a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still debating whether I want to get a new radio, the two-way radio for this tractor and leave the other one in the 8R, or just pull the one out of the 8R and put it in this tractor. I could go either way on that, but I don't know. Having more of them in all of our equipment would be a nice thing, so maybe I'll just get another one. I don't know. Okay, what else? It's almost time for me to go home. That was a lengthy process there. If anybody would like to buy a ground drive John Blue piston pump, I have one. It's available. I would sell it. I don't know what it's worth. I'm going to go and see if I can look that up. So the reason that I took it off and that it wasn't working for us is because these components, or really the control for these components, wasn't working, the variable rate stuff, and some of these gears got quite a bit of wear on them anyway. But I'm wondering, and I'm going to look into this to see if this can be converted over to a set point with a rate adjustment on it, like what they are if you don't buy variable rate, because it's the same pump. They just add this stuff to change the rate. Anyway, I was going to look in to see if this can be converted over or not and what that would cost to do so, because I think the pump itself is actually fairly valuable if it was working properly, which the pump is. It's the adjustment that's not. So, yeah, we'll see. All right, well, it feels like a unsuccessful day, like I didn't get much accomplished, but it is what it is. So tomorrow probably will be another day like that. I have 3 trucks coming tomorrow with seed on them, and I'm not exactly sure what time all of them are coming, but they'll probably be random times throughout the day, and that'll screw me up and not let me get much done either. So my seal kits should be here for those cylinders tomorrow, lunchtime-ish, so hopefully we can work on those in the afternoon, and then we can get the rest of that pump mounted on there. I can't fold this until I get some of the other stuff out of the way. We got to get those meters back on, so it'll probably be next week before we fold it up, before I'm really willing to run any of the hoses and plumbing to those flow monitors and valves that we put on there. So it is what it is. We'll get there, and I do need to run and get that clover seed. It's about an hour drive from here to get to it, so yeah, I'm going to have to do that tomorrow if I can squeeze it in between truckloads, I think, because we got to get that stuff. It's going to get kind of chilly here over the weekend and next week, especially in the morning. It's going to be down in the mid-20s, but those are perfect mornings when the ground is a little bit frozen to get out there with the gator and spread that clover seed. So we want to get it and get it done. So thanks for watching today. Have a great rest of your night, and hit that like and subscribe button for me. We'll see you again tomorrow.